Oh yay, from one cult to another.
Cult of Great Eye of the Mediterranean.
Yep. Alright.
Okay.
Yep.
You've got an alpha and an omega symbol.
Yeah, the cult of the Great Eye of the Mediterranean. Little is known about the cult's origins, but the latest archaeological finds in the Mediterranean zone indicate that this group of interest has been active since the first human civilizations as part of a now dismantled order of ultra-religious zealots.
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 Zealots, sorry.
Zealots.
Shut up.
It sounds like
Ultra-religious
some weird
zealots.
Gundam move.
It does. It sounds like this like some weapon you would hear in a fucking mecha anime.
Oh my god.
Man, really?
Anyways, these primitive men were all converted to the cult's faith and their object of worship, which they referred to as the Great Eye. It's suspected that the cult was inactive until the first decades of 9th century BC, that it entered the state of secrecy after fighting the Phoenicians and the Greeks under the pseudonym of Sea People. The reason for such
Phoenicians.
Phoenicians, sorry,
Yeah, Phoenicians.
yeah. The reason for such attacks was probably connected to achieving the what the fuck
Hegemony.
hegemony of what was born and prospered around the Mediterranean. Since then, the cult has lost a good part of the military power at its disposal and has been reduced to thousands of adepts scattered across the Mediterranean, which still make the scene particularly insidious. At the time of writing, no diplomatic or peaceful contacts have been made between the cult's followers and the Foundation personnel. The cult remains dangerous to this day due to the use of the sea creatures and adepts gifted with esoteric powers not fully known to the Foundation. Any finding, capture, or retrieval of individual-sized objects connected to this GOI must immediately be assigned to the Esoteric and Thaumaturgical Department and reported to the SSMI SM-1. To access the complete updated documentation about the Cult Access Division of Underwater Archaeology of Site Natuno is necessary. Organization. During its long centuries of inactivity, the cult came close to disbanding several times, losing countless adepts. Because of this, the group of interest has dedicated all of itself to secrecy of its operations. After its collapse, it seems to be divided in ranks, which follows. The Guardians, entities that thanks to the energy contained in their own sepulchres and data removed, seem to be
Sepulchres.
sepulchres, got it. Seems to be gifted with esoteric powers connected to the sea and the water with which they are able to control life's own existence around the Mediterranean. Number and full capability of these beings is currently unknown. Seekers, commanders of commanders of great groups of adepts, which can contain over 100 members. These intermediaries seem to be the most loyal to the cult's cause and are subject to a process known as elimination, connecting them to the Great Eye, providing them with some of the power of the Guardians. The Adepts, the most human positioned on the base of the hierarchy and constituting the labor force of the cult, as well as the backbone of their operations. They cover the most varied tasks and seem to be chosen among the most capable, the most intelligent, and the strongest. There are also reports about adepts kidnapped from the surface and reconditioned to serve the cult, although the lack of additional details make these reports difficult to confirm. Additional information about the
Oh, okay.
huh?
I hadn't I hadn't initially like registered in my brain that these people are literally living in the Mediterranean waters. Like
Huh?
they live underwater.
Wait,
They're literally the sea peoples.
Oh,
Really?
They are those guys who are obsessed with gathering all of the prismarine and creating little bases underwater.
I will admit, one of the SCPs connected to it is named Under the Sea.
Under the sea,
Under the
Another great
sea.
under the sea, down where it's wetter, everything's better. Take it from me. And if you don't agree, I will stab you in the knee.
one.
Why does it actually fit with the song's tune? There needs to be like a parody song where it's just that.
It's just like a new goofy anthem for this group.
Yeah.
Sebastian has a knife. Look out, the crab. The crab's got a knife.
That would
Crab with
slap.
a knife.
Additional information about the abilities of some cult members seem to be contradictory and, at the time of writing, not supported by actual evidence. The only sure thing that is that they have an anomalous capacity to survive under the sea, where they have various bases immune to marine pressure and or erosion, thanks to the power of some of the cult's members. Purposes. The cult's purpose is to protect their divinities from impure eyes. In fact, according to them, it could even damage their own existence. The secondary purpose is to impose to the Guardian's will on the sea itself, preparing to conquer the mainland if necessary. Due to their fanaticism, it's suspected that the forms of hypnotism and mass indoctrination have been used to ensure that no adept would betray the cult. This is obviously only true in most cases. CGOM's activity is very sporadic, not easily detectable, and very variable. A few pieces of activity spread over decades from 2006. However, their involvements have become much more common, and to this day, it is hypothesized that this is due to the awakening of their divinity. Attitude: the CGOM is currently hostile towards Foundation and every other group of interest that hinders their purpose or tries to contact them. It's probable that such attitude is destined to remain in this way due to the lack of diplomacy from both sides. So we have two SCPs connected to it.
I mean, we obviously need to read Under the Sea first.
Yeah. Under the sea.
Sorry, sorry.
The sea,
Oh my gosh, there's so much.
the sea,
Well, apparently
down,
recovery's gone.
Oh.
down where it's wetter, everything's better. Take it from me. And if you disagree, I'm going to stab you in the knee. Jesus Christ, this is long. Maybe we don't read Under the Sea.
Yeah, because it was a bit long.
Why don't we first search to see where the group is even mentioned?
Under the sea,
Oh yeah.
long as can be.
Alright, see, it's mentioned a bit in the special containment procedures, saying any of the instances connected to the cult. Let's see.
Oh, atrocities committed within the SCP. Oh.
It's cultural. It's under control of some sort of cure. Be free to not believe means escape the cult. Oh.
Okay, I'm starting to guess that this is going to be vital to read actually.
057-IT is a city ruined by the actions of the cult.
Oh.
So the cult
Oh,
destroyed.
okay. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and read this.
We probably should have known it was going to be bad when one of the first things connected to it was the atrocities committed.
Alright. 057 IT is a city located at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea at around 300 meters of depth. The buildings composing 057 are built mainly with this mix of stone and seaweed, while the center of the city consists of the mayor's house and of a chasm. The latter is circled by stone statues, circa 5 meters tall, from which emanates a high intensity bright yellow light. Oh, which emanates a high
I
intensity bright yellow light.
I'm sorry. Did you just say emantes when you read emanates?
Yes.
Yes, she did.
I mean, I can kind of see where your brain might have gone because we're talking about we're talking about a water-based thing, so you might be thinking about manatees, but no, emanates, Aaron, emanates.
Shut up. Anyways, these depict vaguely anthropomorphic marine beings that, according to the instances of 057, represent the deities worshipped at 057. At the time of writing, despite the numbers of explorations, the total numbers of residents of 057 is unknown. These residents are humanoid beings circa 1.5 meters tall, with webbed hands and feet, along with a skin of unidentified green nuance and gills on the neck. Worth
This
of,
article's author really likes using circa.
yeah. Worth of notice is the absence of a nose. Lastly, their skin is particularly resistant to lesions such as slashes and abrasions thanks to the presence of scales on their upper and lower extremities.
Noise.
Sweet. Hold on.
Painted dogs. Hello, Bow Wows. I love the Savannah variant of wolves based off of African painted dogs.
Yeah. The instances discovered and or classified as residents of 057 so far are to be divided into groups. The Dash A group is the most numerous, comprised of at least 60 instances at the time of writing who have showed themselves to be extremely hostile and to possess much thinner scales. On the other hand, the instances designated as Dash B are conversely friendlier and possesses much thicker scales. This last group is composed of, at the moment, of what was once 24 is now 12 individuals. They got cut in half.
That's not.
That's not good. As they lack lungs, instances of Dash A and Dash B cannot remain on extended periods of time outside of water. Up to 5 minutes or for older instances, namely B-2 and -4, 20 for younger instances like B-8 to B-12. When allowed to do so, the -B instances appear to be amused by the presence of SSM-2 agents or of the research staff. It's important to point out that at the time of containment, some instances showed wounds and signs of mutilation to the gills, hands, and feet. Most of these wounds have been mostly healed at the time of writing, thanks primarily to the on-site specialized medical unit support. Oh no. Poor Dash B instances.
Me.
The birth of B12 on the December 27th, 2017 at Site Natuno was demonstrated that Dash B instances possess reproduction mechanisms similar to mammals. They give birth 6 months following mating, but it is to be noted how B-12 possesses scales similar to Dash A. In contrast to its mother, B-5, this indicates how thicker scales is not a shared genetic heritage or distinctive of the mild behavior of Dash B instances. Even B-8 and his brother B-11 present scales thinner than their parents, B1 and B3. B1 has revealed that it is caused by some technology the offspring are not equipped with. Dash B instances have a social and cultural evolution. Different from Dash A instances, they are very curious, adapt easily to changes in the environment, and are capable of communicating in Latin. Notice among all instances note Greek as well. In 2017, it was noted that Dash B 8 and Dash 11, 10 and 8 years old, have started to speak in Italian, and that B 12 can understand Italian, Latin, and Greek. Dash A and Dash B instances tend to explore vast marine areas. The oldest among Dash B instances have stated to have seen small gray things that were spreading in the Southern Sea, and that these tried to attack them. It's theorized that the Dash A and Dash B instances migrated in different parts of the Mediterranean Sea before settling near Sardinia, and that they encountered 044-ID-E during this time. Captain Lorenzini, chef of Naval Unit 1, tasked with containment of 044-ID-E. Huh?
What did you say? Did you just say chef of Naval Unit 1?
Chief.
Chief. Chef of Naval Unit 1. They got a serious promotion if they're controlling where the ship goes. One day they're cooking meals for the crew. The next they're manning the helm.
Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway, Chief of Naval Unit 1, tasked with containment of 044-IT-E, has stated they have never noticed any instance of 057. It was also supposed that 057-A and -B instances are the descendants of peoples that lived up to the 14th century BCE on the island of Nisrios before it was devastated by a volcanic eruption. Some of its inhabitants would have revealed capable of surviving underwater and of following various genetic mutations would have become the first specimens of 057-IT instances. This society would have become nomadic for unknown reasons and would have wandered around all of the Mediterranean building temporary cities, of which 057 would be the most recent and perhaps the only one currently inhabited. Alright, now we're gonna
Stay on that.
Huh?
Stay. Nice Cyros.
Cyros, got it.
It's an island in Greece.
Yeah. Now we're gonna get into what the cult has done.
I have a feeling the cult's going in evil, but let's
No shit is going in evil.
Yeah.
Discovery. 05719 was discovered in 2015 by a handful of divers from the diving club of Danwood Expunged. Following an aggression underground by various instances, the account of this attack was posted on the club's social media, coming to the attention of SIR-1, Aurora Natide. All pictures were removed and amnestics were administered to all divers. Various expeditions by SSM-2 have confirmed their account. -B instances were recovered by SSM-2 squad. I don't know what symbol that is. And brought to the site Natuno. Alright, so here's our recovery log. Forward these logs were reported by Dr. Giuseppe Bastillo, Director of the Department of Underwater Archaeology, by Lieutenant Marco Lavini, leader of SSM-2 squad, that one, who was sent to explore the city. He was captured by 057-IT-B and brought within 057. Alright. April 14th, 2015. We arrived in proximity to the city near the statues described by the divers. It's not so big. Houses were made of stone and rooftops and seaweed. We haven't seen any inhabitants, or maybe we're still too far away. The most visible elements are giant statues, also in stone. We can't manage to recognize the depicted creatures, but we think they're either extinct or the representations of their gods. As soon as we left the SCU-1, the environment around 057 became heavy, unsettling. There weren't any animals or no sound other than our respirators, like the calm before a storm. The city looked like a sleeping monster that would bring upon the end of the world if it were to wake. I don't like this one bit, neither do my colleagues, but we must continue. I hope we don't find any creatures attacking us, or that the statues come to life. April 17th, 2015 at 9:15. We made another inspection. The environment is still heavy and unsettling. The lights from the statues are more intense, and we hear screams in an unknown language. April 17th, 2015 at 9:34. The city is inhabited. Some instances approached us, a small group of 6 or 7 individuals. They're humanoid with greenish skin and scales on hands and feet and with gills. They try to flee, moving away from the city. We followed them, but they swam faster than us, and we lost their trace. I noticed some of them showed red marks on their skin. There were no scales. I don't know if they're afraid of us or what happens in the city. April 17th, 2015, at 10:32. We came back to the SU-1. We were trying to explore the city, but we were kicked out by other entities who possess thinner scales. Fortunately, no one of us was wounded. Lieutenants Abigail and Ricky are waiting for orders from Captain Armini to let us try a new exploration. April 17th, 2015, 1945. The incidents have come back. They're swimming around the SU-1. They don't have weapons, they're just swimming. As if they've never seen a submarine before. They're behaving like fish, showing interest. Lieutenant Ricky can see them swimming on the radar. They aren't beating on the walls, they aren't screaming, they're not making any noise. They swim around US-1, sometimes very quickly, other times much slower. Stella claims to hear laughter, and her hearing is sharper than mine. Why would they find us funny? April 19th, 2015, 22:07. Armini and Contati claim that there is no danger. They gave their orders because Gil and Ricky went closer to the city and gave us the green light for the new exploration, as long as we stay around the SU-1. We can only observe it at a distance. We recharged the oxygen tanks, and just in case, I brought my respirator. There's no more trace of the instances that appeared interested in us. April 19th, 2015, time unknown. Group returned, they surprised me from the back, put a hand on my mouth, and pulled me towards 057. I couldn't defend myself, I was caught off guard. I don't remember much, I think I passed out at some point. I remember waking up in one of these houses, my hands and ankles tied up, left in a corner. I tried to flee by swimming, but the entity discovered me and closed the door. They won't let me leave. I heard those screams in an unknown language from the outside, along with what seemed like a beseeching voice. Some instances sounded furious, others were crying. After some time that I couldn't count, another instance entered the house, a female one, since they called her Tita. Latin names, they all have Latin names, but don't speak Latin with each other. It had some kind of weapon. I can't describe it. I think it wanted to threaten or even kill me, but it didn't do that. She stayed close to the window and kept guard on me. That odd weapon gleamed a few times, producing small bursts, muffled by the water. April 19th, 2015, time unknown. Instance called Tita seems to be the leader of this group. Are they the good guys or the bad guys? I don't know. They haven't freed my hands and ankles. They haven't threatened me. There are four shorter instances they look at me as if I was a monster. They are the monsters. No, I shouldn't say that. They are monsters for me, but I'm a monster for them. I mean, I never saw a human being before, and so regard me as an anomaly from their perspective. April 19th, 2015. Time unknown. Latita knows Latin. I don't, but I can still understand her a bit. She pointed at herself, then at the door, and then at her bleeding hands. I understood. If I leave, I'll be killed. Respirator's starting to malfunction. I've used it too much. I'll try to slow down my breathing, but I know it won't be sufficient. April 19th, 2015. Time unknown. The group has become smaller. The older one hasn't come back. I understand quite well. 057's police, if you can call it police, is trying to find them and kills them when they do. This is why Latita didn't want me to leave. With gestures or words in Latin, she explained, they're trying to flee from 057. Be free to not believe, as she says herself. Not believe in what? I don't know, and no one wants to tell me. April 20th, 2015, 5:30. 057 is under control of some sort of guru. Be free to not believe means escape the cult. To live without being forced to worship a god they do not believe in. 057 is a city ruined by the actions of the cult. The acolytes of the god kill everyone who doesn't believe in it. Latita and the others say that they will see the ceremony if they can exit safely. In a few days, one will be held. Oh,
Guru.
why am I not
Guru.
surprised? Oh, what was that?
It's pronounced guru.
Guru. Why am I not surprised?
So they're being hunted down for not believing in the.
Yeah.
They're being murdered for not believing in a cult.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Sounds like it.
that's horrible.
Yep. Meaning those 6 or 7 weren't trying to run away from the MTF. They were trying to run away from their lives.
Oh my gosh.
April 20th, 2015 at 7:03. They brought here my squad members. They're all here in good health. I'm glad. Letitia and the others claim they brought us here to let us see the horrors the insurgents like them suffer at the hands of the other inhabitants. They don't want to go in the details, and I fear they never will. My squad mates have brought an oxygen tank as well. Phew. Soon I wouldn't have been able to breathe anymore. April 20th, 2015 at 8:37. They lost a member. Julius was thrown into the chasm to soothe the guardians. Cora has cried all night long. He was her husband and father to short instances, Tulio and Alexandria.
Uh,
The insurgents were convinced he was not sacrificed to calm the gods, but as punishment, to strike fear into them. Even Flora was abused. Her back was wounded. They don't want to talk about it. All they want is only to escape. They look at us as saviors, as if we could do something great to help to them. Okay, so the cult is also doing human sacrifices.
so the people
Or
visiting there, they're
Oh
like,
wait,
oh fuck, we can't help, but they think we can.
wait, I wouldn't say human sacrifices, whatever species sacrifices they are.
yeah,
Aquatic
sen-
sacrifices,
sentience sacrifices or
Yeah.
sapience sacrifices.
Yeah.
mer people sacrifices.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. 2 more dates listed on here. April 20th, 2015. Time unknown. The roads and houses are desolate. Even insurgents were forced to leave their homes, and we had to follow them. Staying hidden, all the inhabitants are gathered around the chasm for a ceremony. As no one was guarding the city, we too went to see for ourselves. The leader of the city climbed on a rock taller than the others, placed above the chasm and in front of the cult members. The light coming from the chasm becomes stronger and starts to wobble when the members start seeing. They're starting to say it's a prayer to the entities they praise. They didn't want to translate it for us. The worshippers are singing and dancing, and some shapes are appearing within the light in the pit. They aren't coming out. Worshippers then enter some sort of frenzy. Their songs are more hectic, while the shapes become more visible. They resemble gastropods but with tentacles. Like the leader, we think he could be a creature from the chasm taking physical form. April 20th, 2015, unknown time. Police has come. They are armed. I don't know if their weapons have any effect on us. They look like flails, but the insurgents feared them greatly. They fled while we were attacked by the police. They look scared. The oldest of the instances has taken the four younger ones and are now swimming towards the SU-1. I think my squad members have received the other to capture some instances because they're directing them towards the submarine units. I'm readying for combat. I hope I have enough oxygen left. So, this is definitely a very evil and corrupt group.
Were you
Yeah.
gonna there was more down there, wasn't there?
I think this was messages from submarine units of Captain Marty and Dr. Contati. Sorry. I guess we can find out what happened to
Like
ones that went to the submarine.
yeah, like, we don't actually need this to place them, but I'm just curious at this point.
Yeah, let's see what happened to the instances that came up to the submarine. Some instances of 057 caught up with us, armed and hostile. There was a fight between them and squad. One, fortunately, our divers had the bigger guns. The insurgent instances took advantage of the battle to flee, and six of them got to our submarine unit. Lieutenant Lavini assured me that they weren't hostile, but my men are still keeping watch on them. We let them in. There are four instances with young traits, a similarly older instance, and a male instance. Lieutenant Pico has just told me that the other five instances have encountered his submarine unit. Squad, that one has come in. They're all here, safe and sound. Me and Lieutenant Salini are taking the decision to return to the surface. Lieutenant Dario Glassay, SU-2. Five instances reached SU-1. Three are wounded, one severely. Since they cannot survive for long outside the water, Lieutenant Ricky and I had a water tank prepared. In agreement with my colleague, I'm taking the decision to resurface. Lieutenant Cleopatra Pico, SU-1. Okay, so they all made it safely.
Yay.
They managed to escape the cult thanks to the Foundation.
Yay.
Alright, so I think we know where we're gonna put them, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking a chaotic evil since they seem, like, very,
Yeah.
decentralized from, like, the sounds of the original
Yeah.
discussions about them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just
Ugh.
I
It
yeah,
kept,
death to the cult.
it kept getting worse the further we read on the dates or what they've done.
Well, yeah.